Yes, ordinarily I usually invite you on Tuesdays to address you on matters of cabinet, but today we have invited you to address matters of yellow. But I see only her and the only two are dressed in a manner that is politically correct. The rest of you, the media, you are not yellowish, but that's just on the lighter side. So I want to welcome you and thank you for coming to this media briefing. My name is Chris Baryomunsi, the National Vice Chairperson for NRM in charge Western Uganda. And I am going to address you as such, not as the Minister of Information that I usually do on Tuesdays at the Media Center. That's why we invited you here at the NRM Secretariat, because this is a briefing in relation with the NRM. And I'm joined by Honorable Godfrey Kiwanda, the Vice Chairperson for NRM for the Central Region, as well as my sister Lydia Wanyoto, the Chairperson of the Women's League of NRM in Uganda. So thank you very much for coming. Again, I see another gentleman with a camera which is politically correct. a yellow camera. Now, we are going to brief you about the ongoing exercise of elections for SEC members. But before I do that, let me take the opportunity to thank you as the media for the coverage that you have continued to give regarding electoral activities within the NRM. Because for the last few months, there have been elections for party structures, starting from the branches, that is the villages, up to the district level. And the media, you have been part of this journey, part of this process. I would like to thank you for the work that you have done in covering all these events and also informing the country about what is going on within the NRM party in the different parts of the country. And in the same vein, I would like to thank members of NRM across the country and congratulate those who have been able to make it in the elections which we have conducted, beginning from the branch level, which is the village level. As you know, NRM has an institutional architecture where we have leadership from the branch level, then at the parish level, at sub-county level, and district level. And we have done all those elections that have resulted in a number of leaders of NRM. And I take the opportunity to congratulate all those who went through and thank all those who participated, and also thank the members for all those activities. We have also, of course, had primaries for members of parliament and the district leaders, namely the district chairpersons and the district councillors. And just yesterday, those who are going to vie for positions of LC3 chairpersons and LC3 councillors picked nomination forms in preparation for the elections, which will take place later in August. So that process has been on, and we congratulate NRM as a party for those elections. Definitely, NRM is a very strong political party. That's why its own elections within the party can generate a lot of heat in the country. I am sure you agree with me that no other party can organize those kind of elections that stretch from Karamoja to Kisoro, West Nile to Bukedi, and the whole country has been on fire because of these elections organized. Now, the elections in terms of the structures which remain are now elections for members of the Central Executive Committee, which is the highest organ of the party, and we seated here are incumbent members of that organ. And the reason why we invited you this morning is to announce, and individually all of us will speak, but we are here to announce. Let me speak now for myself, because my colleagues will also speak for themselves, that I already picked nomination forms, and I was successfully nominated for the position of NRM Vice Chairperson, Western Uganda, a position that I have been holding for one term, because my first term is now coming to an end. I was voted overwhelmingly by delegates from all over the country in 2020, August 2020, and this coming August, we shall be completing our term of office and now getting ready for another term. So I am announcing that I am a candidate for that position, and we shall be consulting members of NRM across the country, particularly the delegates, those who vote, who constitute the electoral college that vote us into this position. And we shall be doing campaigns when the national conference is held, and the dates for the national conference have already been announced by the chairman of the party, i.e. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, our chairman. Let me say that the last time we elected, in August 2020, that was a period of COVID, when we were under lockdown, you recall. And we've been working since then. But of course, we spent like 2 years at the beginning in a lockdown due to the COVID pandemic, which was ravaging the country. But we've been able to achieve a lot of progress as a party, as SEC. Let me clarify that being a member of SEC is not a job. It's merely a party responsibility that makes you be part of the governance structure of SEC. And the main function of SEC is basically to provide policy guidance to the party. I have been in some areas where they say, oh, here, you've been our chairman, Western region, but our roads are not in good shape. So you find members of the party across the country sometimes do not appreciate the functions and roles of these positions that we hold. The party has a huge structure, like I've said, ranging from the Central Executive Committee. We have the district executive committees of NRM, and downwards up to the village level. And basically, our work is to mobilize the country, for the country to support NRM. But when the voters have done their part, like they did in 2021, then they request the party to form government. And implementation of the manifesto is executed through the government, the executive arm of government. For us as a party, our work is now to supervise the government. We shall have to carry out a lot of civic education for people to distinguish what structures of the party do and what the government, the bureaucracy or the government system does in delivering services to the country. But one of the decisions we have taken as a party is that we are going to strengthen the mechanism of a ruling party supervising government. For instance, we have taken a decision as SEC, which we have also taken to cabinet, that henceforth the chairpersons of the ruling party, in this case NRM, at the district and lower levels, will now be members of the respective councils, so that at the district level, the chairperson of NRM, say in Kanungu district, which is my work as members of SEC, is basically to support the chairman of the party in giving guidance and political direction to the country and ensuring that the party supervises the government in order to implement what we promise the country when we are canvassing for support. For that promise, we put it in a manifesto. And I can say, as members of SEC, we have done our part. If I can speak about Western Uganda. Western Uganda is a large area spanning from Bunyoro, Toro, Wenzori, Ankole, and Chigezi. And as the vice chairperson in charge of that region, in the last 5 years, I have worked hard to ensure that the support of NRM remains very strong. I think I can proudly say that when it comes to the support and strength of NRM as a party, we come first and others follow. Others follow. And that can be seen through how we elected the president, how we elected the members of parliament and other leaders. The NRM continues to dominate the political space in Uganda, but more so in Western Uganda. And I pledge, once elected, I will continue to consolidate that support, and even the few pockets of opposition that could be there in some areas will definitely cease to be. For instance, when I was taking over the position of NRM Vice Chairperson, we had a fairly strong opposition in the Rukunjiri area, a fairly strong opposition in Kasese, and some other few urban areas, but that we have worked on it. We have worked on it. We have turned Kasese into a yellow district. We have turned Rukunjiri into a yellow district. The urban areas where there was some palpable presence of opposition, I think they have toned down and people have crossed. I have been various places receiving converts joining NRM, and that we shall continue. But also we have been on the ground to ensure that the government delivers services ranging from infrastructure like roads, electricity, safe water, health care, education, wealth creation programs. We have moved with the president when he was moving across, preaching the gospel of wealth creation, and we can say NRM is delivering. So my message is that NRM remains the future of this country, and would want to appeal to Ugandans to continue supporting NRM as a political party, to continue supporting President Yoweri Museveni and the flag bearers who have been elected through the elections which we have conducted, so that NRM can continue delivering for Ugandans. NRM is the only party I can say that is anchored on strong ideological pillars. We have a reason why we exist as NRM. And like we have been saying before, and very often, that the NRM, when it came, it had a 10-point program, which was expanded to 15, but we usually condense it into 4 ideological principles or pillars, which include patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy. Now, point number 4 of democracy is what you are witnessing now, that there is a strong democratic force moving on and process moving on in the country, where Ugandans are participating in choosing their leaders. Some of you have just been at the Electoral Commission, where even those who are aggrieved with the outcome of the processes have the freedom and liberty to petition, and the tribunal which has been set up by the party is going to look through these processes, and if there are any irregularities which are detected, they can be corrected, because NRM believes in democracy. It believes in the fact that for you to occupy a political office, you must be endorsed by the people.